And we want to start with that crazy hail this morning. This is a live look from Sky 9 after what was a crazy weather night.
Look at all those clouds this morning. So this is what it looked like in Longmont just a few hours ago. Check it out. Big chunks of hail coming down. You can see a lot of rain came down and a lot of lightning as well. It looks like it snowed there, but that is all hail. Brianna Fernandez is live in Erie right now where there's quite a bit of damage. Good morning, Brianna.
Hey, good morning, Corey, Jordan. Yeah, we're off Erie Parkway right now at this neighborhood called Grandview. And you can tell a storm definitely passed through here. And of course, like you mentioned, it wasn't a snowstorm. It was a hailstorm. People describing hail falling for about 30 minutes. You can see the sizes that we're seeing all over this neighborhood. But I want to show you the damage that people are waking up to. There's this Toyota that's parked in someone's front yard, and there is dents to the hood. Of course, people try to cover it with anything they could, towels, blankets, you name it. But unfortunately, the damage that we're seeing is unreal. Take a look at this BMW just right next door. Their back windshield smashed and glass scattered everywhere. I actually just spoke to someone who wanted to see what their car looked like. Their car was also damaged, and he said he's been living here for 22 years, and this is the worst that he's seen. Corey, Jordan?
Well, actually, me. But I'll tell you, you could see those showers and thunderstorms once again today. Let's check on that hail that Brianna was talking about. Thornton and Brighton recorded 1-inch hail. This from the National Weather Service. 1.75 inches, 1 3/4 inches in Boulder. Frederick had 2-inch size hail and 2.5 inches in Hoyt. You can see we have the storms that have moved off to the northeast, and they have a pretty good line of storms going into Nebraska right now. That will continue, but the storms will be back later on. Why? Got a lot of moisture in the air. 93% humidity. We're at 50 degrees right now. Little afternoon heating instability. That'll get us going. So we'll see some showers and thunderstorms. Some severe once again with a high of 72. Now tomorrow we cool it off to 62 degrees. Still good chance for storms around here. 67 on Friday. 40% chance down to a 30% chance to start your weekend Saturday with 62 degrees. Unfortunately for Mother's Day, it's going to be a cool gray day with some scattered storms. Only 57 degrees the high. And then on Monday, 67 degrees with 30% chance for those showers and storms once again. So Erica, we just didn't see a whole lot in town here, but tomorrow may be a different story, so we're still on guard.
Yeah, and I know you'll be keeping a very close eye on that. Thankfully, at this hour, things are actually looking fairly quiet still in the metro area as we take a live look at our CDOT camera. As you get ready to travel on I-25 in the area of 84th Avenue, still no major delays or issues through the Thornton stretch. These are southbound lanes, and you can see how light in volume they are at this hour. Big picture looking really good out here as well as you get ready to travel on southbound I-25 from 144th Avenue all the way down to 76. We're in the green, no delays. Same thing for your drive into Commerce City. No issues yet on westbound 76 heading in from E470, and both sides of I-25 in good shape between the Denver Tech Center and downtown. You've got a 14-minute commute both directions.
All right, Erica, thank you. New overnight, Denver will reactivate the city's emergency operations center to deal with an influx of migrants with nowhere to stay.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live from the Auraria campus, where overnight the migrants were shifted from sleeping in a parking garage to now sheltering inside a church.
Yeah, good morning, Corey and Jordan. And that's right, they were using that parking garage yesterday, but they weren't able to use it last night because it was being used as fan parking for the Nuggets game. Both the city leaders here in Auraria and the city and leaders here in Auraria say shelters are full, and now they're scrambling to find a solution. The city of Denver had set up a processing center on the Auraria campus with many migrants sheltering nearby in that parking garage. It appears that everyone found shelter last night. A representative from the Auraria campus says nearly 40 migrants went to shelters, and the state bought hotel rooms for around 20 people who had young children. Hundreds more were packed into a church on campus, and while that worked for last night, leaders on the Auraria campus say it's not a long-term solution.
I think everyone's trying to do the best they can, but we all need to step up our game, and I think the Auraria Higher Education Center has leaned in and filled a gap that was unfillable for the last 3 nights. But now we need others to join.
An area spokesperson said last night that they were pleading with the city for help, but they didn't receive a response. In a statement, Mayor Hancock authorized reactivation of Denver's Emergency Operations Center starting tomorrow. We're hoping to learn more about what that means and what that will do for migrants. We'll be at that press conference later on this morning, and we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow the story very closely. All right, Courtney, thank you.
It's a tough situation. Well, it may be easier for migrants to come to Denver going forward. Restrictions on seeking asylum in the U.S., known as Title 42, end tomorrow. Thousands of people are already waiting at the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas and California. More than 500 troops are arriving at the border right now to help Border Patrol. The Biden administration says those extra troops will only be for administrative support, not any kind of law enforcement.
This morning, we have new details about a case in Aurora where a man is accused of shooting and killing 4 people. New documents show the suspect's family helped him evade police. Joseph Castorena is accused of attacking his ex-girlfriend after she filed a restraining order against him. Prosecutors say he shot and killed 4 people, 3 of them related to his ex. She survived the shooting. During testimony yesterday, a police officer said Castorena went to his brother that same day, told him what happened, and asked for help. The officer says his brother drove him somewhere and never told police. It took more than a month for police to arrest Joseph Castorena in Mexico.
This morning, we have some new information about what happened in the weeks before a student shot 2 administrators at Denver's East High School. Police say they talked to Austin Lyle or his family twice before the shooting happened. It started at school when another student said Lyle had a gun, but the district says that he ran away before administrators could finish searching him. They reported it to Denver police. DPD says officers visited his house twice and then told the school district to do a new threat assessment of Lyle. The school district tells us they made changes to a safety plan, but they wouldn't tell us specifically what changed. On the day that he shot 2 deans, he was required to have a pat down before class. The district says Dean Eric Sinclair told them that he was in the middle of the search when the shooting happened. And then earlier this week, Dean Wayne Mason told us he walked in to see Sinclair struggling with the teen, and then Lyle shot them both.
New York Representative George Santos is facing criminal charges and could be at court as soon as today. Santos made headlines last year when he admitted he lied about his education and work history. He was also accused of breaking campaign finance laws, masterminding a credit card scheme, and stealing money meant for an Iraq War veteran's dying dog. Santos denies all of those. It's still unclear exactly what charges he faces. The House Ethics Committee is also currently investigating him.
A judge has found former President Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming a woman in the 90s. The jury recommend he pay E. Jean Carroll $5 million in damages. After the verdict, Trump still denied even knowing Carroll, and his lawyers have hinted that they will appeal. But this case is already having ripple effects. Already some Republicans in Washington have suggested that the verdict will make it harder for Trump to win the election in 2024.
The U.S. could be just a few weeks from defaulting on our debt for the first time, and that would be a major blow to the economy. 2 new analyses back up Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's forecast that the U.S. could default by June. The tax season was weaker than expected, and the Treasury might not have enough money to pay the government's bills. It will all depend on how much money the agency collects in the next 3 weeks. Now, President Biden says he is trying to work with House Republicans to figure out a deal.
Well, this morning, health experts now say women should start getting mammograms when they turn 40. That's 10 years earlier than what the guidelines said before. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force says this could save 20% more lives across the board. And they say these new guidelines are especially important for Black women, who are 40% more likely to die from breast cancer than women if they get it. Some doctors have been pushing for even bigger changes, suggesting women get screened every year. But for now, the panel does still recommend women get mammograms every 2 years. Doctors also suggest women start talking with their doctors about their risk factors when they turn 25.
And one thing you want to know about the weather today is temperatures are going to be relatively mild with 60s and 70s, but those showers and thunderstorms are going to be back, and they could be severe once again today. Then tomorrow we cool it down, only 50s and 60s, and we keep the storms in the forecast.